My son won't do woman's work. When I was working as a nursery worker we used to get some real crackers entitled Parent Wise, one still sticks out in my memory though. Cast, ed, entitled Dad, SNW, Senior Nursery Worker, PK, Poor Kid, Mimi. Every day we would set up several activity stations around the nursery, all gender neutral etc. things like sand tables, art activities, dress up. The problem started when Ed came to pick up his son and saw him washing his cup after snack. The kids had a small basin of soapy water to wash their cups before we took them and put them in the dishwasher. Every child was responsible for their own cup. Ed, PK, what the hell are you doing? Put that down and get over here. SNW, hello, Ed, what's wrong? Ed, why is my son being forced to do women's work? SNW, looking confused, what do you mean? Ed, washing up is women's work, why is he doing it? SNW, every child takes responsibility for their own cup, spoon etc. It's part of them learning to take personal responsibility. Also, our nursery is a place of equality, there is no women's work here. Ed goes ballistic. Ed, he won't be doing women's work and that's the end of it. SNW, please, Ed, don't raise your voice at me. If this upsets you so much then we will stop him from doing women's work. Please follow me to the office and clarify what you do not want him to do. So, at the end of day meeting we found out that he was to eat his snack, but he wasn't allowed to prepare it, which was a pity because he really loved snack prep. He was allowed to drink his juice/milk, but he wasn't allowed to rinse his cup like the rest of the children. He wasn't allowed to participate in dressing up. He might put the girls' costumes on and grow up gay, imaginative food play or participate in the baking sessions. Cooking is a women's job. Ed told us that he would be speaking to his son and that his son would tell him if we made him do anything that he had forbidden. We were not happy, but we had to follow his instructions to the letter. So along comes baking day. Guess what one of PK's favorite activities? The kids all loved baking day because at the end of the session they got to take whatever they had baked home with them to share with their family. We tried to distract PK by keeping him at other activities and sneaking his group into the kitchen without him seeing, but we were honestly fighting a losing battle. Poor kid had been smelling the cupcakes and eagerly waiting for his group's turn. Cue meltdown. Me, PK, don't be sad, there are lots of other things we can do, would you like to paint some flowers? PK, mumbles, flowers are for girls. Me, oh. Okay, shall we go play in the sand then? I think the big yellow truck is out today. PK, looks sad and we go off to play with the sand. Skip to end of session, everyone is picking up their little ones who all have bags of cupcakes to take home, except that is, PK. He looks like someone just kicked his puppy, and all of the staff are upset because of it. Ed comes through the door and looks around, notices his son has no cupcakes and makes a beeline for us. Ed, why doesn't PK have any cakes? SNW, I'm sorry Ed, the kids bake them themselves so they get to take their work home. PK isn't allowed to bake so he doesn't have any to take home with him. Ed, just put some in a bag for him so we can leave. Looks at SNW and I as if we should snap to attention. SNW, I'm sorry Ed, nursery policy, if the kids don't do the work, they don't get the reward. Ed, you have spares, I can see them on the worktop. Pushes me and SNW out of the way, walks into the kitchen and tries to grab another kid's bag of cakes. SNW, gets in his way, those are not spare, they are. Another kid, we have no spare. Please leave the kitchen. By now PK is bawling and all the other parents are staring, so he leaves the kitchen. Ed, gets in SNW's face, give him the cakes now. SNW, if you continue to act in a threatening manner towards staff we will be forced to call the police. At this point the kid who owns the spare bag of cakes comes to collect them so she can go home. She is absolutely rockin' her Down syndrome, but at that point wasn't very verbal, so we had to get down to her level to speak Mockatone to her. I crouch down with the bag of cakes in one hand and start signing good job and see you tomorrow, when I'm suddenly sent flying. I fall backwards and hit my head on a bench as Ed rips the bag of cakes out of my hand. SNW, that's it, leave now before I call the police. Ed storms out of the nursery, cakes in hand with PK trailing after him. After they picked me up and checked I wasn't badly hurt, calmed everyone else down and called the police, all the kids that were left donated one of their cakes so everyone had some to take home and they were gone before the police arrived. I think he got a warning from the police but we never saw PK again. I still wonder what he turned out like to this day.